Ladies and gentlemen, the following episode is scheduled for one fall. Coming down the aisle are your hosts of In The Kliq, baby Huey and BrianTronic.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and joining me once again is my tag team partner, BrianTronic. How's it going, man?
Going good, Huey. Back again for another episode. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too. Here we are. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're actually getting closer and closer. We're like maybe a couple exits away from the finish line. It is approaching very fast now, and I guess we could talk about this. We haven't officially announced this on the podcast yet, but
yes.
In The Kliq will be down in WrestleMania. We'll be covering it. I just realized since last time we chatted and recorded, we didn't get the official what's the term. Confirmation. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So we got confirmation last week, right? Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, last week. So yeah, we will be down there, you and I, covering all the events, the WWE events for WrestleMania weekend. Cannot wait.
Excited.
WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles.
I can't believe it's been a year already.
Yeah, since we went to Dallas.
I feel like Dallas was just like not that long ago, man. Like time's going by so fast. I can still feel Dallas. That's how close.
I can still taste a Whataburger.
God.
The Chick-fil-A we had the first day after we got the airplane. Well, then again, man. That day, remember, like I was cutting it close to the Oakland airport. Like I thought, it's not too, it's right by my house. And I showed up there and there was that huge line for security. And I was like, oh my God, ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I literally, you were already at the gate and I ran, after I got through security, I ran, literally saw you sat right next to you. And then like 5 minutes later, we started boarding. So really cutting it close right there. I was a little nervous that you'll be in Dallas by yourself and I'm coming in like a day later or something like that. So hence why, this year for Los Angeles, we're just going to drive down. I think let's save on airfare and just drive down. And actually, I did my taxes today, so I was going over all my write-offs. And I was going over the Dallas trip and stuff and like everything there. I was like, oh yeah, all those expenses. So it's been a year already. So I told my tax person, I'm going to LA in 2 weeks for WrestleMania. So expect these type of expenses for next year. Just FYI, heads up. So it was great. So yes, we will be there. And actually, we're still finalizing all the details. So you and I will be in the main show, obviously WrestleMania 39. We're going to be there for night 1 and night 2 at SoFi Stadium. As far as all the other stuff, the press junkets, we're weighing all the details, SmackDown, Raw, Stand Deliver. Actually, I realized Stand Deliver wasn't on one of our applications. So hopefully that's a separate thing. So I should, I'm guessing that's not going to be a problem to attend to. We have to go.
Hopefully we don't get moved again.
Well, I'm excited for Stand Deliver because Johnny Wrestling's coming back to NXT, Johnny Gargano. Right. So maybe if we have time, we'll touch on that in a little bit, or maybe on the next episode. We haven't talked to NXT much lately, so it's really cooking right now as far as the build for Stand and Deliver. But no, so we'll be at WrestleMania. So make sure to follow In The Kliq on social media. At In The Kliq, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Brian, you always do an amazing job at the big wrestling events documented. So we will be sharing all Brian's posts on social media. We're waiting to hear back about what interviews we could possibly do. It's going to be, as far as in the past, it's all been one day. Now they're spreading it out over 2 days. That's how big this WrestleMania is. As Cody Rhodes said, it is the biggest WrestleMania to date. So even the press junkets are spread over 2 days. Press conferences over 2 days. It's I'm stoked. Like you and I, like
to be fair, now that I'm thinking about it, like they got a lot more talent.
On the roster itself.
They have a lot more people signed back to the roster. So that makes sense that they would probably want to split it up into 2 days. They got so many people who probably will make the card or who probably won't make the card that are going to be there. So
that's
a big deal.
So yeah, like a couple days ago, you and I had to change our travel plans. So now we're going down a day earlier. But yeah, we're literally going to spend almost a week in LA, theoretically. Yeah. Like we leave on a Wednesday, come back on a Tuesday. Yeah. So yeah, 6 days, 5 days total, 2 days. I mean, it's I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Please subscribe to In The Kliq on wherever your podcasts at, your audio at. I'll put all the interviews, the audio forms there, and then make sure the big thing, especially with WrestleMania, subscribe to In The Kliq on YouTube. Our boy Tim, actually I need to double check with Tim, but he's always down to help edit the video versions of our interviews. So once we get the interviews done, we'll upload them to YouTube as well. So yeah, please follow Tim, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Subscribe to his YouTube page as well. So I'll have to check in with him just to confirm you're okay. Editing interviews is gonna be 2 days worth. So, but Tim's awesome. He's good like that, and so. Yeah, we're actually in the hotel we got. It's going to be the same hotel WrestleCon's at. And you and I've never done WrestleCon. How about you? Have you ever done WrestleCon?
I've never done WrestleCon either.
So last year I was so tempted to go, but our schedule was so busy. This year I was like, I don't know which hotel to stay at. I was like, I looked at WrestleCon. It's like, oh, their hotel's downtown. It's literally walking distance to Staples Center, Crypto Arena. And, it's right there downtown and it's around everything. And so I was like, just do it there. And then that way, if we're in the room, we want to take a break, go downstairs, check out WrestleCon, maybe see some wrestlers in elevators. I don't know, walking around. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. It's I'm very excited. But like I said, we're on the home stretch here. I think there's as of this recording Thursday night on March 16th, aka Austin 316 Day. Oh hell yeah! But technically, there's only 5 live shows left. 3 episodes of SmackDown, 2 episodes of Raw, and then it's WrestleMania. So, and that's what this episode's going to be about. I do want to stress that this episode's going to be all WWE. And I think just for the sake of keeping it easy, instead of talking maybe Raw, SmackDown specifically, I think at this point, let's talk about just the overall build to WrestleMania, kind of what matches have been announced, what matches we assume are going to be announced very soon based on certain storylines where they're progressing. So I figured let's talk about the matches. And that's the other thing too. Raw and SmackDown, there's been a lot of crossover lately since this WrestleMania season. People are appearing on both shows and crossover. So I think for this episode, let's talk about the matches and the build on each Raw and SmackDown that we've been seeing so far. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So obviously, the main story in all of WWE right now is the Bloodline story, which now, as of kind of people are speculating, it's going to lead to 2 different main events for WrestleMania this year, WrestleMania 39. It's been announced already. The main event for Night 2 is going to be Roman Reigns defending the title against Cody Rhodes, the winner of this year's Royal Rumble. So let's talk about this build right now, because we'll talk about Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. They're kind of breaking off into their own story now with the Usos. We saw a heel turn last week with Jey Uso, which we'll touch on all that in a second. But for right now, let's talk about Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, their story right now. I think post Elimination Chamber, that's where things really start getting going, moving in that direction. Cody was kind of inserted into the Bloodline storyline now, after Sami Zayn's story kind of ended after Elimination Chamber, ended at Elimination Chamber. Right. So, over the last few weeks, we've seen a lot of Paul Heyman on Monday Night Raw. We saw the initial confrontation promo between Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes in the ring. And then the following week, we saw Paul Heyman on the jumbo screen talking to Cody Rhodes, making some innuendos, talking about Brandy. So, and then we saw Cody go to SmackDown, confront Roman Reigns there, and they talked it out there. So I guess, Brian, we'll start initially your overall thoughts on the build between Cody and Roman. Are you liking this so far? I know some people have been very critical on Twitter, but your overall take on the last couple of weeks of the Cody Roman Reigns storyline.
Yeah, I like it. I see a lot of people have their thoughts about the build maybe being maybe using Dusty and the story of, Dusty never winning the championship and Cody's reasons for wanting to do it for Dusty. And I see a lot of people saying, well, what about Cody? What about Cody wanting to do it for Cody? But I do see a lot of elements of Cody doing it for Cody. I feel like you just can't ignore Dusty. Like, this is probably the one and only time that you have to acknowledge, right? No pun intended. You have to talk about Dusty. You have to involve Dusty. But over the last few weeks, I've been noticing that Cody's been kind of switching it up a little bit. I know, obviously, he said he came out this week and said that it was personal, right? He said that it turned personal, and look, he talked about the fact that he wears the suits and he's got the bus and he acts the way that he acts and does the things that he does, not because he thinks he's somebody, but because he wants to be someone. He says, he told Roman Reigns that he acknowledges him, but you have to acknowledge me. And that was, to me, that was key for this feud, because then it lets people in a little more on Cody and what his intentions are, not only just on this road to WrestleMania, but even afterwards, right? Like, because Cody's story, or his, I don't even know if you want to call it Cody's story, but the story, right? He has to finish the story. He has to finish it. But a whole new story begins if he becomes champion and beats Roman. This is a whole new chapter, a whole new book. Really, of so many possibilities, so many new responsibilities. And, I say for a lot of people who have been frustrated about the build and the mentions of Dusty, I would say, hold on a bit. If Cody can capture the championship at WrestleMania, I know for a fact that we're going to see a whole new side of Cody. Think about it. We've never seen Cody world champion Cody, right? Not even in AEW. We didn't get to see AEW world champ Cody, right? So this is the first time. I'm excited. Huey, I've been thinking about this all day. I was talking to Phil and Brandon earlier on the podcast, and I like just the doubt in their mind that Cody could possibly not win at WrestleMania. I'm just like, there's no way, guys.
Well, like no, you're right. Like, that's the thing. Some people are saying, what if Cody doesn't win? What happened to the story here? And Roman just keeps going. And I'm like, then who if it's not Cody, who then? Who's going to beat Roman at this point? Because he's gone through the whole main event division of that WWE roster. There's no one left after that that's believable, that's credible, unless it's Braun Breaker or someone from NXT that we haven't thought of yet. No, it's got to be Cody. This is the perfect timing. If we do have a chance to talk to Cody, I hope we get to talk to Cody while we're in LA. Yeah, I see this. He's like the Obi-Wan Kenobi of this Star Wars story. It's like, help me, Obi-Wan, save me. You can save us. Like, he is the Prince Charming, the savior of the bloodline that's been wreaking havoc on all of WWE. He's the big hero here. So the Jedi Knight taking down, the Sith Lord and the dark side, all that stuff. So that's what this is playing out here for me. Like, I'm trying to visualize that in a fantasy setup right there. But yeah, it has to be Cody. Like, if it's not, where do you go from here? I think you just got to freshen things up. I want to see, Cody as double champion, and maybe that's something we could talk about later. Is like, if Cody does win, knock on wood, hypothetically, what do you do next with the titles, the two titles? Where do you go from there? And that could be a whole separate discussion. So let's hold off on that. Maybe fantasy talk. How do you get the split the titles off him? Does he keep one? Obviously, the WWE title is the one that's important to him, and the Universal goes off somewhere. We could fantasy talk about that later, maybe next episode. But yeah, you're right. It's got to end. Roman's reign, no pun intended, needs to end at WrestleMania, because I don't know where you go after this as far as compelling stuff. Someone on the roster that's believable. I think a lot of people wanted to see Sammy win, but it didn't work out that way. Cody seems the more proper, groomed main eventer that could dethrone Roman that's believable. So it has to happen at WrestleMania. If not, I mean, I'll keep enjoying the ride and keep tuning in, but yeah, I don't know where they would go after this. So
yeah, I don't even, it'll be hard for a lot of people to, I think, to stay tuned in and locked in on this story, right? I think, I feel like just only because they, he's got the big Royal Rumble win, he's been showing up every single week,
coming back from the pec injury.
Yeah, coming back from the pec injury. He mentioned last week or this week he's undefeated still. Yeah. I just don't see where it would be right for Roman Reigns to go over on Cody, but we'll definitely see.
But so this week's promo after he defeated LA Knight. He defeated LA Knight. Great match. Great to see LA Knight on Monday Night Raw. I heard, there's rumors he's going to get a big push after WrestleMania. So early prediction, maybe Money in the Bank winner. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Just walks around. But Cody, the promo he cut after the match, as you said, he's trying to be someone. Where's the suit? He's trying to prove that he can be a main eventer. He can be the face of the company. So that promo alone got me fired up. Him, just the passion, he's post-match, he's sweaty and, just full of energy and adrenaline in his soul. Something Cody Rhodes. But it got me fired up because, okay, going back a few weeks ago, the one-on-one promo with Paul Heyman, I really enjoy that because they at least try to connect the dots of, sure, Cody just came back to WWE last year, but the history with Paul Heyman is very deep and has existed for a long time, their relationship and how is it connected to Roman Reigns. So they really did a great job filling in the blanks of like, okay, here's why him and Cody and Roman do have a lot of history together, but you may not realize it's more behind the scenes. But as Paul Heyman or Cody explained, thanking Paul for giving his dad work back, 20 plus years ago in ECW. And they've been connected there. And when and then Paul Heyman taking shots at Cody on the jumbo screen was the following week, and talking about branding stuff. So it's adding some tension. Paul playing the heel, giving Cody a reason to want to take out the bloodline, including
making
Paul Heyman, making it personal. And then jumping to SmackDown when Cody showed up, confronted the bloodline, told the bloodline like, hey, or told Roman, why you got all your boys in here? This is one-on-one. And Roman's like, all right, guys, leave. And they had the one-on-one exchange, the first time them interacting leading up to their match here. And I thought, in that promo, Roman really stood tall, really showed why he's the best. Cody, I think, did a good job, but Roman really, I think, kind of owned him that night. With all due respect to Cody, Roman throwing the titles down on the ground and says, you never had any of these. And Paul Heyman already said once, Dusty said like Roman's the son he wish he had. And then Roman kind of reinforced that about just all the stories they've had, sharing Dusty's stories. He's like, Dusty and I were so close, but he never talked about you. And then he did a Dusty impression in front of Cody, which was it you that told me Cody's not a fan? Yeah.
No, not a fan of that at all.
Yeah.
When I seen that promo, Roman Reigns treated Cody like an NBA player, like that moment where Kobe is showing how many rings he has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yeah. And to the other superstar on the other team who, hey, have you been to the finals? Have you been to the big one? Do you have one of these? No, you don't.
Okay, right. We'll use the NBA analogy. The kind of in recent news, the Memphis Grizzlies, the guy in the Grizzlies calling out Draymond Green and the Warriors, and Draymond's like, "Who are you? You're a clown. You haven't won anything. I've won 4 championships with the Warriors.
Yep.
Who are you calling us out? Like, no, you're not in my league. Like, so." Yeah, it's very similar. It's like Roman's like, who are you? You're some guy who just came back. You're not on my level. And I like how Cody responded, though. Listen, I've always been the underdog. I've overcome the odds in every scenario. And that's my thing. That's what I do, including referencing, leaving the company, being successful, shouted out All In, my friends and I sold out a 10,000 person wrestling event, indie wrestling the show. So he shouted out All In and just his success outside outside WWE, starting AEW. He's like, that's my thing. When people doubt me, I prove them wrong. So, and then he said, Roman, you're the next thing. No one's been able to beat you. I could beat you. I'm going to be the person that defeats you. So that part of Cody's promo, I really dug, because it's like saying, that's what I do. When people don't think I can accomplish something, I prove them wrong. So I love that conversation, that part of the back and forth there. So I did love that exchange, even though I think overall Roman, kind of got the best of him that night. And then, we've also been seeing Cody kind of injecting himself into Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens storyline. Sammy, his main purpose is just take out the bloodline, specifically focusing on the Usos. We see Cody talking to Kevin Owens backstage in the background. What are your thoughts on Cody maybe either trying to align himself with Kevin and Sammy, and or trying to be the peacemaker to bring those two best friends back together? What do you think of kind of like that whole connection right there?
I like it, and I think it's smart of Cody to try and get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens on the same page, because I think ultimately, and he knows that benefits him at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If Kevin and Sammy can get on the same page and contain and get rid of the rest of the bloodline together, right? Especially on the grandest stage of them all. You look at it. If you look at how defeated and how out of it the Usos are going to be if they lose their tag titles, they're not going to have that energy and that chip on their shoulder, that what they need to help Roman Reigns or to come interfere in what Cody's got going on, right? I mean, you still got Solo, you still got Heyman, to worry about, but I think it's smart for him for Cody to make sure that those guys are on the same page, like you say, kind of play peacemaker, get them two back together, because at the end of the day, everything Sammy's been saying is right. When Kevin Owens tries, he's unsuccessful. When Sammy tries, unsuccessful. But if they come together, he knows that they can make it happen. They can beat him. Strength in numbers. It's another Warriors thing.
Exactly. The synergy right there. But that's the thing. It's like the bloodline, they're a 1-2 punch between Roman and the Usos. And so in order for the bloodline to crumble or take them out, you got to take out the foundation, which is the Usos here in this situation. So it totally makes sense. And then, for Cody, he is by himself trying to take on the bloodline, but he does need allies too. And early maybe prediction, if they do a War Games again on the main roster, I would love to see Cody, Kevin, Sammy versus the bloodline down the road. If the bloodline is still a thing come like November or whatever. So it's getting interesting. So, okay, let's talk about, or also Cody, do want to shout out real quick when John Cena returned last week. Big endorsement for Cody. That was huge. When Cena was leaving, Cody comes out and Cena raises his hand, points to him and really just acknowledging, this is your guy now. I'm passing the torch to Cody Rhodes. So I'm like that's a big giveaway right there that Cody should win at WrestleMania. So
what do you tell him? He said, what was that saying he told him? Reward him when you hear the crowd, reward them or something like that. It was something that Cena said. That's crazy, man. It really, it was bittersweet almost. I was like, dang, John, don't do that.
So, okay, for right now, let's talk about now Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, the Bloodline, the Usos. What's going on there? Sammy has been doing his best to kind of, jump through the crowd with the hoodie, take out the Usos when he can. Kevin Owens trying to fight them on his own, so resistant of going back with Sami Zayn, working with him. He's like, I can do this on my own. Really stubborn in that sense. Was a SmackDown last week before we know what Jay's intentions were, when he was still just kind of going rogue on his own. Roman put the ultimatum on Jimmy. He's like, you get your brother back in line with the bloodline. If not, I'm taking you out. And so it became a whole big, what's going to happen?
Right.
A couple weeks ago, Usos had a tag title match. Jay showed up last minute. Jimmy was a little worried, was he going to wrestle by himself? but Jay came back. So there was the beginning of them kind of repatching their brothership, their connection. And then, with this ultimatum over Jimmy's head, you can tell Jimmy's a little worried. It's like, dude, I got to get my brother back in line. If not, Roman's going to take me out. So we jump ahead to Monday Night Raw last week where, we see Sammy, come out. It was, actually, let me double check. Do I have that here? The main event last week was Jimmy versus Sammy, or I'm totally spacing right now.
It was Jimmy. Dang, who was it? I forgot who Jimmy fought.
Actually, here I can look.
Kevin Owens, right?
Here we go. Sorry, I got it now. Sami Zayn defeated Jimmy Uso, and then Jay Uso returned. That's right. So Jay comes out through the crowd, approaches his brother first in the ring, but he's like getting ready to cry, teary-eyed, grabs his brother's shirt, and then he leaves, and he goes to Sammy on the outside, gives him a big hug, and it's like, I choose you, embraces you. And we're like, oh my God, like he's actually leaving the bloodline.
Yep.
But then sure enough, they're both standing there, hands up, and look like they're celebrating. Sammy's all excited, and then sure enough, Jay breaks everyone's heart and just super kicks Sammy right in the face, says, it's a family thing. You think I'm going to turn on my family? And then the Usos just gang up and beat the crap out of Sami Zayn. So your thoughts on Jay, I guess, returning to the bloodline and officially turning heel and taking out Sammy and breaking everyone's hearts. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was executed well. My whole thing with Jay coming back, I was a little like, is he really going to leave his brother, to get beat up? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh man, like he's not going to show up. He probably wants Jay to know how it feels to be, basically like kind of wrapped around Roman's finger, doing what Roman tells him to do, because Jay was in that role before, right? Mm-hmm. And so now Jimmy seems like he's in that role, and so now he has to pay for whatever happens, and Jay not coming back. Anything that happens, it's gonna be Jimmy's fault now. Right. Yeah. So I was thinking, I was like, man, okay, they got some tension, maybe he won't show up. Maybe he'll want Jimmy to feel that, but he didn't. He came back, and at least we thought that he was going to join Sami Zayn, right? And I'm thinking, man, they're going to stretch this out even further, because like, okay, how are they going to now make us believe that? Because we all know where this is heading, right? But I'm like, how are they gonna do this? And then bam, hits him with the super kick. I'm like, oh my goodness, what a roller coaster of emotions, right? Yeah. Not only us as viewers at home, but people in attendance, they're going up and down, people were happy to see them embrace and hug each other. They were chanting, ooh, see, right? But then all of a sudden, he hits him with the super kick, and Sammy's done really, really well selling these bloodline beatdowns. Yeah. I love every bit of it. And at the end there, obviously we see Cody running out. I thought that was cool. A lot of people didn't like that online either, just because they felt like it should have been Kevin Owens, and that Cody and Sammy are mixing it up a little too much. Right.
Well, okay, like I think for WWE, there may be like, okay, we know how popular Sammy is organically with the WWE universe. Let's give that rub over to Cody Rhodes. So let's have them work together. So just to help. And that's the thing. Cody's still been over, which, Brian, that's the one thing. If we have a chance to talk to Cody, I would love to ask him. It's like, okay, you're more or less the same character you were over a year ago in the other company.
Yep.
But you're still over right now. The crowd loves you. Why it did not work over there at the other place, the other company? And I would love to, if he gives like a real honest answer. That's something I want to save for him, or maybe the press conference if I have a chance to ask a question.
That's a huge question. I would love to know that too, man. Like, just
like why it didn't work over there, but it's working here. So with that being said, yes, Cody, the crowd's still loving him, cheering for him. house shows attendance has gone up that Cody's been advertised for. So Cody's still over as well. So him and Sammy working together, it's like a great 1-2 punch combo right there. So, but yeah, no, Jay last Friday explaining his action said, listen, I love my brother. I'm not going to let my brother get taken out by Roman or anyone. I did it for my brother. I returned to the bloodline for him. So I believe that. That's fine. I get it. Blood is thicker than water than anything else. So I totally get that. I'm totally fine with that explanation. And then at the end, Cody comes out, makes the save. I kind of want to ask Cody too, like, maybe I'll ask you this, Brian. What are your thoughts on Cody running out to make saves in a suit? Like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like his suit, reminds me of like, Ric Flair or The Miz, other people who wear suits. Like, in some capacities in pro wrestling for decades, guys who wear suits like that are normally like heels and, usually take a beat down in the suit. But Cody is now trying to make saves and be the hero in a suit. For me, in my mind, my old school mind, that presentation feels, heelish presentation. So even like when they were in the crowd, he was trying to take his shirt off and he was having trouble. I think he ripped his shirt. Like part of it was still on his wrist at the end.
I saw it. It was still buttoned on his wrist. I was like, oh my God. Like Charlie was like, did he cut it off?
I just ripped it like a couple $100 shirt, just ripped it off, shredded. He's like, screw it. Like the company will pay it, reimburse me. But, so I'm digging where they're going here. So now, granted, like I said earlier, they got 5 live shows left. So at some point, something's going to happen where Kevin and Owen got to get on the same page and come together and then challenge the Usos for the tag titles at WrestleMania, which I do hope ends up being the main event for night 1, which I think, is that a tag team? No, I take that back because Hogan, Mr. T main evented WrestleMania 2, right? Or
I believe they did.
All my fellow old school wrestling fans. No, I take that back. Hulk Hogan, Mr. T versus Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper was the main event for WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania. Okay, but it's not normal where a tag team main events WrestleMania. So
and a sidebar real quick, how incredible is that? The Usos have gone from having tag team matches on the kickoff show, the pre-show. I mean, I remember as far as back as even WrestleMania 30 having the match with I think it was Swagger and Cesaro, and it may have been another team, I'm not sure. And then even on WrestleMania 31 kickoff, they had that tag team match with the New Day, I believe, and it was Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, right. And so like going from that to the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania, that would be sweet.
Yeah, no. So I'm digging it. So I'm curious what's going to be the story beat that makes Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come together officially. As you said, they've both been kind of going after the bloodline on their own and not being successful. So strength in numbers. So hopefully we'll see that maybe on SmackDown this week or Raw next week. It's got to happen some point because
they've got Sammy confronting Jay this week on SmackDown. So
okay. We'll see how it goes. So
hopefully we'll get closer.
Okay. We spent a lot of time talking about the bloodline storyline because it's the A story. It's leading the two biggest matches of WrestleMania weekend. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the other matches that we know about for WrestleMania this year. First things first, let's talk about your favorite, Charlotte Flair, the Queen. She has her match against Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. A lot of people have been kind of a little underwhelmed with the build to this. I know there's some conspiracy theories out there, which Brian, you probably heard that some people are saying maybe the build for both women's title matches have been done a little underwhelming, underperformed as a way to justify them not main eventing night 1. Because in the last few years, a women's match has been like the main event for night one of WrestleMania. So to justify the Usos and Kevin Sammy being potentially, knock on wood, hypothetically the main event, that's one thing people are just throwing online. But Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, I think they've only had 2 interactions so far in the last few weeks. First time it was Rhea and Dom confronting Charlotte, and then Rhea and Charlotte again was on SmackDown last week after Charlotte defeated Shotzi in a match that was not that good. Sorry, it was a little rusty. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, Shotzi. It was just not one of her best matches. And Charlotte, I mean, I just don't know if it was like a chemistry thing. They just weren't on the same page. The flow wasn't there. But as they were wrestling, Rhea was outside kind of taunting Charlotte and then confronted her afterwards. So the build, I feel like there's so much history they could tap into as far as Rhea saying, yeah, I won the Royal Rumble. I went over an hour in there, and my goal is get back to my win at WrestleMania from you. You took from me 3 years ago. And I feel like they haven't really acknowledged that. What do you think about this whole build so far?
Yeah, it's been hard to get into and enjoy. I mean, like you said, they do have history, and it's like no brainer. Everyone knows why Rhea Ripley chose Charlotte, right? But they haven't really tapped into that. I don't see that much. It's okay. Like when you compare Cody, who won the men's Royal Rumble, and his passion and his energy that's being brought to this story and to this path to WrestleMania. It doesn't really match Rhea Ripley's passion, her energy going into, possibly becoming SmackDown Women's Champion, which she said it herself after winning the Royal Rumble. If she wins SmackDown Women's Champion, she will have won every championship.
A Triple Crown winner.
Yeah. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, tag team, all of them. Right.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So, for me, it's like, I know she's still got the Judgment Day stuff going on, but I feel like she's more worried and focused on Dom than winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. And Charlotte, on the other hand, I think it's hard for her to really get into what she's capable of because, last time we checked, she was a babyface before Rhea Ripley even challenged her. So now, I'm assuming she still is a babyface, or maybe, I don't know, but it's just like, if she's going to be the babyface, then obviously she can't go on SmackDown every week and just completely destroy Rhea Ripley, right? Like, because then obviously people are going to start booing her, and then it's going to be all messed up. And then I'm sure they want Rhea Ripley to be booed also, right? I feel like the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championship pictures were swapped on accident.
I know a lot of people
on purpose, but on accident,
Well, I know a lot of people still wish it was Rhea challenging Bianca, because it's like two future main eventers of the women's division for WWE. And then Asuka and Charlotte, they do have story there too. They got history there as far as Charlotte beat Asuka a few years ago after Asuka won the Royal Rumble, right? So
that was WrestleMania 34, I think it was.
Yeah, New Orleans. So it's almost like you got the future of the women's division and you got the now, now, no pun intended. You got Rhea, Bianca, the future. That could have been one for the Raw title, and then Charlotte and Asuka for the SmackDown. But yeah, they kind of did switcheroo, which is still fine. I love Bianca Belair, but I love Asuka too. I still, early prediction, I hope Asuka wins, because I feel like that's the last, I think we talked about this before, that's like the last major accomplishment for Asuka's WWE career, is winning a big match at WrestleMania. She's done everything else, won every other title, done everything else in that women's division, but winning on the big stage is like the last thing. And so that's what I'm hopeful for. And then Bianca's had a long, almost a year title reign up until this point. So it's, maybe a time to switch things up a bit. So we'll see. But I feel like with Rhea and Charlotte, I feel like there is some history there they could really tap into. They haven't really acknowledged it. But and then granted, I know some people are saying, okay, sure, Rhea lost 3 years ago to Charlotte, but Rhea still won titles after that. So even though she lost 3 years ago, she's still been successful afterwards. But I think that's the thing. It's like Rhea could say, as great as everything's been in my career up until this point, accomplish everything, beating you is my number one goal now. But then again, maybe because that comes off more like a babyface talk, and they want to keep Charlotte the babyface here. I don't know. Right. I'm a little dumbfounded of like, why did they not really get us emotionally more involved with this storyline? So we'll see. They got a couple more episodes left, so maybe we'll get some more last minute build between them. Now going over to Asuka and Bianca for the Raw Women's Championship, that's also been kind of little lackluster as well. I mean, Asuka, she's got kind of the new look right now, the new gimmick going, but showing up on Raw this week after Bianca's match with she defeated who was it?
Chelsea Green.
Yeah, Chelsea Green. Yeah, Chelsea Green and Carmella begin, I think, more screen time than the main eventers. That's a whole nother discussion. But after the match, Bianca's standing there, Asuka comes out and like just plays tug of war with the title, and then tries scaring her with the blue teeth drooling down. So I don't know, like, what's going on? I mean, I know Asuka is kind of like, not necessarily heel, but she's like a badass babyface, so she's kind of more like a anti-hero right now. Bianca's the pure babyface. So I don't know, Brian, can you make sense of this build as well? Like, kind of what the hell's going on here?
I feel like it's the same thing. I feel like it just they're just like, okay, they, Rhea won the Royal Rumble, so okay, boom, got her match, got her spot.
Yeah.
And Asuka, she won Elimination Chamber, right?
Asuka, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So hey, she's got her spot now. The coming out and helping Bianca, I thought that was just a respect thing at first, but now it seems like she's playing mind games, and it looked like she teased, like she was going to spit the mist at her.
Okay.
And then she started laughing. And then, of course, it started like pouring out of her mouth and got all over the title. I don't know if you saw on Raw Talk, Bianca Belair cut a promo, and it was almost as if she was cutting a heel promo. Like, she seemed very fed up with Asuka and the games. It was very Bianca Belair of old, of NXT.
Oh,
right?
Really?
Yeah, it was very like, swagger, like, Bianca kind of like attitude, sucking her teeth, just kind of like, look, I don't know, I don't want to deal with this, right? Like, I don't know what her problem is, right? And so I'm wondering if they'll, they'll go with like a, I don't know, maybe a double turn or something at WrestleMania, and have Bianca, since she won't be champion, kind of be like in that heel role, because let's face it, like in NXT, it worked for her. She never won the NXT championship, but she was still able to have a successful, NXT career. So, and I don't know, I think it would work for her on the main roster, but I don't know, man. I do wish there was more energy. Like I said, like you look at Cody, there's energy there. We all know that, by default, though, that bloodline story is, that gets all the energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But, it's
like it's sucking all the creative from all the other matches and matchups for WrestleMania.
It is. But, like you said, there's still some shows left. Maybe, the women get physical this year. Like, maybe on the go home shows, the women get physical, and the men sort of, at least Roman and Cody, I can't see them getting physical before their match at WrestleMania. This is probably like the first time. Like, we all know if Vince was, in controlling creative, he would have had multiple 6-man tags by now with Cody and Kevin Owens and Sammy. That would be the go home show match, actually. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cody against the Bloodline.
Oh yeah. It would have been Solo, Roman, Kevin, Sammy, like 5 times in like.
I want to see like a Rock. And you know what? Maybe they're doing it with the women too. Maybe they just don't want them to be physical. Maybe they want you to wait for it. You know, there's only so much they can talk about, right? We all know what Rhea wants. We all know Asuka's got a chip on her shoulder. She's chasing that big win.
Yeah, maybe like
that's the only explanation I got for it.
I mean, maybe they want to reveal who's going to win based on who's standing tall.
Yes,
at like go home math, as they say. So maybe they're like, okay, no one's going to touch each other in the ring before their match, just to build up that tension and that anticipation. I could see that.
You know what also it brings out, and it makes me think about, like, if I'm Asuka, or if I'm Rhea Ripley, or even Cody, I don't want to touch you. I don't want to go after you, because I want you 100% at WrestleMania.
No excuses.
Right? Like, no excuses, no nothing. And maybe, then you might need to put me in the writer's room. You know what I mean?
Come on, Hunter. Let us in there.
Yes, please.
Okay, another match that I anticipate it's not going to be that long. It should be entertaining for the spectacle of it. You already know what I'm talking about. Yep. Brock Lesnar versus Omos. I mean, this past Monday, they finally confront each other in the ring, because for a while, it was just a couple weeks, it was Brock and MVP going at it. But then this past Monday, finally, Omos and Brock confront each other. Kind of an awkward in-ring segment. Didn't go too smoothly. Ultimately, Omos threw Brock out of the ring after Brock was trying to suplex him, send him to do Suplex City, but it didn't work out that way. What'd you think of their whole interaction?
I thought it went well. Okay. At least the first half, I was very, like, I know that they got their shots. They got the standoff, Brock Lesnar looking like a cruiserweight next to Omos, right? And then you got Omos. You had them go for the handshake, and you had Omos's huge hands next to, again, Brock Lesnar's cruiserweight like hands compared to Omos. And you had, it's like Brock Lesnar, almost doubting himself now. Like, wait a minute, he tried to take him to Suplex City and couldn't deliver it. Right. Yeah. Now I know the botch. People were like, they had one spot and they already botched it. Right. Of Omos trying to get Brock Lesnar over the top rope. They'll have another shot at it in LA.
Yeah. We're talking about how it was botched because like Brock didn't go smoothly over. Is that what it was? Okay.
He didn't go smoothly over. It was like, whoops, and then had to do it again.
Okay. Like, yeah.
Come on, it's Omos. He's probably nervous.
It's probably going to be a fun, short match. Mm-hmm. The spectacle of it, Brock looking tiny, which he never looks tiny in the ring. Omos will make him look small. And the big thing is, I think, everyone just wants to see Brock throw Omos around. Omos has really left his feet much in his time in WWE. So, Omos taking a suplex and an F5. I think that's what everyone wants to see. Like Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant. That's what this is going to be.
I say they create that moment, and then they replace Hogan and Andre in the signature and make it Lesnar and Omos now.
That would be hysterical if they did that. It's like, this is the now. But let's see the other match. Let's see. So Gunther, what's next for Gunther in the IC title for WrestleMania? It's interesting what they're doing here. So this past Friday on SmackDown was like a fatal 5-way. It was Drew, it was Sheamus, it was Karrion Kross, it was also who am I missing here? Xavier Woods and LA Knight.
LA Knight.
So the winner faces Gunther for the IC title. Ultimately, we saw Drew and Sheamus get a pin at the same time. So they both were declared winners of the Fatal 5-Way. So everyone was like, oh, this goes into the rumors that it's going to be a triple threat for the IC title at WrestleMania. But Gunther confronted Adam Pearce and said, I am IC champion. I have no problem defending the title at WrestleMania, but I just want one opponent, not two. Yeah. And that's singular versus plural. I know English is not English is my second language. So this Friday on SmackDown is going to be Sheamus versus Drew. Winner faces Gunther. I think you and I were talking already. I think shenanigans are probably going to happen on SmackDown, and maybe it leads to like a double count out or something. Maybe Imperium gets involved. I think it's still going to lead to hopefully a triple threat, because I don't want Sheamus and or Drew left off the WrestleMania card. I think it'd be awesome, a triple threat, all three of them. Is that how you're feeling as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And then, so it'd be a triple threat. It'd be awesome. It could be, maybe the best match of that weekend. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Gunther for the IC title. I'm looking forward to that possible outcome. So we'll find out more on SmackDown this week. Okay, a couple things real quick before we'll wrap things up. Austin Theory defending the U.S. Championship against John Cena. It's been confirmed. Last week, when Raw was in Boston, John Cena made his return, confronted Austin Theory, Austin Theory confronted him, more or less challenged him for a match at WrestleMania. The promo, though, that's been the big topic here. John Cena pretty much roasted Austin Theory. Austin Theory didn't come out too looking good after this promo. What did you think of the whole exchange between the two of them?
Excuse me. Listen, oh man, I'm a huge Austin Theory fan, and I am so glad that he is getting this moment to wrestle John Cena at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. The story writes itself. He's a Cena mark, okay? Just like all of us, okay? I got my armbands and wristbands, but I'm going to throw them away because John Cena made it personal. He attacked Austin Theory. Okay, we know that he had a bad, all that stuff, and you didn't earn it, and blah blah. You don't have it in you. We've heard this before. Okay, Kevin Owens said the exact same thing. Cena. Okay, but listen, I feel like John Cena really sold people on the match, which is the purpose, right? Austin Theory, a lot of people were talking about how he just got buried and there's no coming back from it. Cena even went out there went further to say that even if he beats him, it's a
catch-22. It's like, if you beat me, the fans are going to hate you after this. If I beat you, then people are going to still hate on you. So it's a lose-lose situation for you no matter what, which I'm like, damn, John, like sure, John, which I think we can all assume Austin's going to win. He's going to retain the U.S. title. John's not going to win a title at this point. He's got a big movie career going. He's got movies to go film. It just ended one. He just started a new one. So I think he's going to do the match, leave. He's not going to be around WWE long term now. So with that being said, it's like, John, I want you to build up tension for this match, get us emotionally, give us a reason to care about this match. But I think he just buried him so much that when he leaves, he's like screwing over Austin Theory, because like he's telling everyone, it's like, dude, if he beats me, great. But people are going to hate him for doing that. If I beat him, then great. He's a loser. So it's like he's telling the WWE universe, no matter what Austin Theory does in this match, it's a lose-lose situation. I'll go on my way and continue my big movie career. So that's what's just a little frustrating. It's like, I wonder if John could have rephrased some stuff to kind of help put Austin over a little bit. Like, hey, like, I know I've accomplished it all. I'm one of the all-time greats, but you're the young talent. I see a lot of you in me, and that scares me in my match. Like, kind of put him over a little bit and kind of, put a little more tension there, right? Is that?
I think I'm glad you said that, because I think you're right. I think I can almost bet that if John Cena could have just a few more minutes of that back, he probably would word it different. Yeah. I think John was just going. Maybe the part where he said he beats him and he still loses, he would probably take back, because in reality, if he beats you,
scenario,
if he beats you, that's not true. He beats you, right?
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. I would have liked if John came out and said something like that, right?
Or like, Austin Theory should have responded, you know what, John? I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to raise you up one. The guy you're tied with all time with title wins, the great Ric Flair had always said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. Something, yeah. Oh, boom, look at me. Austin, call on us. We'll help you with your promos against John Cena.
He definitely seemed like he was stuck, but I love how Austin Theory still kind of stood tall. And then the Cena, this is what irritated me. The little joke at the end where he's just like, you don't got it in here. You don't got it in here. You sure as hell don't got it down there. Right.
You gotta work on that.
Yeah, I didn't like that either, because it's just like, and I get it, it's Cena, he's being funny, comedian, stuff like that. But also, this is just a moment where you're, supposed to got to be serious here, right? But then you know what Austin Theory needs to do, because now it's personal. Now I feel like you're not taking me serious. Yeah, you're not taking me serious. So I'm glad, like the match he had with Dawkins on Raw. He good match, dominated it. He's got people waiting on him, if he beats Cena, right? So that makes Austin Theory, in my opinion, look strong. You know what Austin Theory should do? After he beats John Cena, he needs to come out on the night after WrestleMania, and he needs to come out to Cena's music. Get the whole crowd into it, just exploded, right? And then he walks out because Cena said it himself that they're going to hate him, the night after WrestleMania if he beats him. So why not make them hate you even more?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, like, Austin, the only thing
my son said, yeah.
He's Team Austin Theory all the way. So, yes. But that's the thing. It's like, Cena, like Austin, the only thing he got off in that promo was you got a bald spot. And then Cena, besides everything else we just talked about, he said, no one cares about watching you. They pipe in fake crowd noise. So it's like, yeah, everything Cena said in that promo just really buried him, unless that's the whole point. Like Cena's just testing him. It's like trying to get him prepared for the main event picture. It's like, I'm testing you, kid. If you want to be at my level and be the new face of WWE, I got to put you to the limit. And so maybe that's why he was so aggressive in his promo. But I don't know. I want to see Austin Theory be successful and be, one of the fresh faces for years to come. So we'll see how it goes, man. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see.
He has to have one hell of a match with Cena, in my opinion. In order to shake that off, he's gotta show that he's ready to hang.
Yeah. So there's gonna be a 6-woman tag team match. It's gonna be Damage Control versus Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch. Becky and Lita are the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. This all came together when Damage Control was beating down Lita and Becky Lynch. Trish Stratus came out, made the save. For the tag team match, Trish Stratus came out, helped Becky and Lita become tag team champions. And so now the three of them got this little bond going, and them and Damage Control have been going back and forth now the last couple weeks. On Raw, they more or less challenged them for a match at WrestleMania. So what do you think about against this program? I mean, for me, it's cool because you get Damage Control, specifically Bayley, and you get Becky Lynch on the WrestleMania card, outside of the world title, or excuse me, the Raw and SmackDown women's championship title picture. So I guess for just star power, it's good to get them on the card, and also the legends, Trish and Lita as well. So I'm fine with that, but I don't know. I'm kind of bummed that maybe the women's tag titles are not going to be defended separately. But then again, I know a lot of people want to see Shayna and Ronda become the women's tag team champions. So maybe Trish and Becky drop the titles to them at some point, and they have, I don't know, but we're getting so close to WrestleMania. I don't know what's going to happen. So I don't know how you kind of think this whole match is the build for that is going.
Yeah, the build. I wish a lot of the build really is happening on social media, right?
Oh, really?
Like you see Bayley and Trish going, or Bayley Trish and Becky Lynch, they're all going back and forth on social media, trading words, and Bailey posting pictures of her and Trish together, and then her and Becky, and it just all these different things coming together. I wish they would show us some of this or let us hear it on TV. I know that they gave Trish the big beat down on Raw.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. On this past week.
And she sold the heck out of that. So I'm glad that happened, right? But the whole tag title thing was a mystery to me too. I was like, oh, okay, so Damage Control loses the tag titles to Becky Lynch and Lita for them not to defend it at WrestleMania, which means after WrestleMania, win or lose in that 6-woman tag match, they're still going to be tag team champions, which then I would assume that they would drop them on the night after WrestleMania, maybe to a team that gets called up from NXT, or maybe even Shayna and Ronda showing up on Raw the night after Mania to do it. I don't know. Excuse me.
If Ronda and Shayna are not going to be on the WrestleMania card, that's going to be kind of interesting, having their star power. But I don't know. I mean, I guess for one part of me, I'm cool with it, because that way, you get all their faces on the WrestleMania card, but then the women's tag titles is just kind of an afterthought right now. So that's, I think, what a lot of people are kind of a little frustrated with. It's like, you want the tag titles to mean something, but they're not even going to be defended at WrestleMania. They're just kind of lost in the shuffle right now. But when you have like legends like Trish and Lita in the fold, I think maybe that's the more important thing, is just using them for their star power. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens over the coming weeks, if those tag titles come off them at some point, or they just deal with it later. So I don't know. I mean, they got Backlash in Puerto Rico in May, so maybe something can happen there where the tag titles are dropped at some point. I don't know. We'll see. Last but not least, Edge, Finn Balor, they did announce it's going to be a Hell in a Cell match. So the opening of Raw this week, we saw Judgment Day come out confronting Edge, who Edge was in the ring, challenged Finn to a match, Hell in a Cell match. Finn accepted, more or less said, my demons cannot be contained. I'm paraphrasing, contained in hell, right? So, is that a little foreshadowing? We're going to see Demon Finn against Edge at Hell in a Cell. So what are your thoughts on Hell in a Cell match returning to WrestleMania?
It's a chance to revive the Hell in a Cell, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I know that there's probably not going to be anyone flying off the top of the cage, right? But hopefully we get something, right? Hopefully we get some kind of, new or something other than the norm. We see them dragging toolboxes from under the cell, and the typical banging against one side and banging. Hopefully we get something different and something more exciting. I'd like to see him fight on top of the cell. I think the Hell in a Cell match is a good way to finally end this feud. This thing's been going on forever.
Way too long.
Some would say, hey, we're okay. We don't need the Hell in a Cell, right? Just because it's over. Like, we don't need to see you guys wrestle again. But I think it's good. It's good for Finn, if he does come bring the demon back, for him to reintroduce the demon under Triple H's and his regime. They're creative, and to just kind of reintroduce it and make it not so crazy, like
Well, I think this feud's going on too long, and I kind of wish maybe Edge had a different opponent for WrestleMania. But then again, if it's the bigger picture here, like, let's resurrect Hell in a Cell and make it a big deal.
I wonder,
what better way at WrestleMania in this blood feud?
I wonder where AJ Styles would have fit in if he hadn't got injured in the WrestleMania.
Yeah. Actually, shouldn't he be almost like healed up by now? I think it's been like 6 weeks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to save him for the night after Mania.
Oh that'd be a good big return moment right there for him. So that'll be coming up.
Maybe even Jay White. I don't know. I know people think he could be going anywhere, right? But I'm just saying, a night after WrestleMania would be a great way to debut him if he's gonna go there.
Perfect. I love that. So one match that on the books right now, listen, I don't know if it's gonna happen. Who knows? Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt.
Oh, man.
Uncle Howdy confronted Bobby Lashley a couple weeks ago. Bobby slammed him down. Bray hasn't been on TV in a couple weeks because Brian, you sent me the report that he's dealing with some physical issues. We don't know exactly what that means, and sure, we can sit here and try and interpret what that means. But I think at this point, just we wish Bray a speedy recovery with whatever he's dealing with right now. So hopefully, he'll return to TV very soon. And I think for the sake of time, we can maybe talk about the build later, maybe in another episode or something like that. See, I know the build's been kind of goofy and lackluster as well, or people are just criticizing Bray's return, but that's a bigger topic we can get into maybe next episode.
Right.
And the other thing right now that could happen is Ray versus Dominic Mysterio. Right? Congrats, Ray. First inductee.
That's a hot one.
Yeah, for this year's first inductee for this year's Hall of Fame class. So Ray is so adamant he does not want to face Dominic, but Dominic keeps getting in his face, pushing him, pie facing him. Do you think the ultimate way Dominic will convince his dad to wrestle him? He challenged him and Ray said no. Do you think Dominic interrupts Ray's Hall of Fame speech, rips his mask off, and Ray's so enraged, fine, I will face you at WrestleMania tomorrow. Something. Do you think that's how it's gonna go?
Yep. I'd have because I read the rumor that Conan, I think Conan will be the one inducting Ray. I'd have Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley just beat up Conan in the corner, and make Ray accept the challenge in front of everybody, in front of the, because Ray's family's going to be there, right? So Ray's going to have family. He's going to have a bunch of people who, came up, who helped him throughout his career and stuff. So I'm sure that's going to be a big moment for the family.
Oh man. So no, a lot of stuff to look forward to. So I'm sure we'll get a couple more match announcements and we'll talk more about the build.
They got
and
Seth
stuff.
and Logan Paul too.
Oh my God. Yes, I totally. Oh, that's up here. Oh my God! On my browser, it was below. I had to cut off. Yeah, Seth and Logan Paul. Oh my God! I liked it a couple weeks ago. Seth confronted Miz, beat him up, took his phone while he was knocked out, used the face recognition to open the phone, called Logan Paul, and Logan Paul's like, Miz, what do you want? I don't want to talk to you. Oh, Seth, and then Seth challenged him and called him a bitch and hung up. And, it's perfect. Finally, Logan Paul's embracing being a heel.
Yep.
Everyone likes it. And then Seth is so over. This match could be outside maybe Gunther. This could be maybe one of the better matches of the weekend. From an athletic standpoint. So awesome stuff. All right. Well, on that note, let's start wrapping things up. Brian, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
Kliqsters, you guys can find me at BrianTronic on Twitter and Instagram or anywhere.
And I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey83. For everything else, please subscribe to In The Kliq wherever you get your podcasts at, especially on YouTube as well. That will help out a lot. Also, follow us on social at In The Kliq. Email us inthekliq@gmail.com. Cannot wait for WrestleMania. We're almost there. We're going to have so much coverage for you guys. So thank you in advance for all your support. Watching, listening, sharing, all of our stuff. So cannot wait for it. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.